special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.
Live from the land down of the rising sun. I about said land down under. Good start. Welcome into a track formerly known as Twin Ring Motegi, but now we get used to calling it Mobility Resort Motegi. It is round number 8 of the All-American Cup Series presented by Harpoon Design, and it is the All Japan 200 here on the Captain Esports Network. I am the captain, as we get you ready for 200 miles of racing here at the Japan racetrack here known as Mobility Resort Motegi. But you're going to see Twin Ring Motegi, and I'm probably going to call it that a bunch of times, which is totally fine. But that's, of course, the track we're at tonight, which is a 1.54-mile oval, which consists of a mixture of a bunch of racetracks, basically, if you will, made into a concoction of one racetrack. And best way to explain that is watch the racing, and I will explain as we go. But tonight, again, round number 8 is qualifying beginning right now for the cars out here on track. And as you know, qualifying for the All-American Cup Series is presented by Mike Husby Designs, MHD there. The pole award here tonight as we watch Kyle Ethier cross the line here, 36.23 seconds. So it's an egg-shaped oval that has relatively flat banking and wide with long straightaways. So we're going to see cars getting loose, coming out of the corner a lot, a little bit tight entry as Mark Whitley, 35.89, goes to the pole. Obviously, plenty of cars out here still to go. Dylan Rosenberg just completing a lap. You see 14 cars have now completed a lap here. Let's go to Christopher Heller. In the 8 cars, he comes through the 3 and 4 section of the track, or I'm sorry, through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. 1 and 2, the longer of the corners. 3 and 4, the narrow of the corners. So, what I mean now earlier, when I said a concoction of racetracks put into one. So, let's put Darlington in. Okay, let's widen it out like it's Kentucky. Let's make it, the corners look like Gateway almost, if you will. And make a 1.54 mile oval. That's what Twin Ring Motegi is here. And yeah, that's what's going to cause a little bit longer lap times than you're used to seeing on a 1.5-mile track. You're going to see them barrel down into turn 3 and 4 at like 180, 185 miles an hour, all the way down to, I'm guessing, about 130 right here, slowest part of the track, and then back to the throttle and all the way down this front straightaway to the start-finish line right there as the 8 crosses the line, and I think he's just logging laps right now here in practice. But Whitley right now on the pole. Let's see. Here's one of our fastest cars in practice, Matthew Weeks, as he's purple right now off of turn 4, and of course got the win just a couple of weeks ago. And Weeks goes to the pole, 35.82. So good lap for him. Austin Bloom on track right now, fresh off his best finish in the series at Bristol as Isabella goes 36 flat. Let's, matter of fact, let's track Isabella here. Let's go on board with him here as we watch the speeds, 160, 170. Yeah, 185 miles an hour, and drives it all the way down into the corner, and 116 miles an hour. That's an 70-mile drop into turn 3 and 4. So, and they're not shifting, by the way. And he goes P2, 35.88. So there's a lot of speed that can be gained over in the turn 3 and 4 area of this track when you have such a speed difference right there. But either way, Matthew Weeks going to be on the pole with a 35.75. So congratulations to him on winning the MHD Pole Award here this evening, as qualifying will wrap up here. And we'll actually take an opportunity here and talk to Matthew on his Pole Award here this evening as we start our festivities here as the warm-up will begin. And this is my reminder that Weeks is probably not in chat. As I look down here, he's not in the Pro Edge Racing. So congratulations to Matt on getting the Pole Award this evening. All right, let's take a look at the point standings as we enter this evening's race. Of course, last week, the Bristol Motor Speedway hosted the halfway round of the season. Mark Whitley getting his 3rd win in 7 starts, and 3 of the last 4 races to be exact. Leads by 15 now over Isabella Carrington, only 16 points back. Weeks is right there. Stephen Miles is right there. Joseph McWhorter, of course, was out last week, and he is 6th in points. Christopher Heller, Nick Leo, Mike Husby, Craig Martin, your top 10 as we enter the point standings, and still 6 races to go in the season going into tonight's race. So still plenty of time to make some moves and get yourself set up. And, you know, for those drivers, let's look down here towards the middle, like Dylan Rosenberg, like Jackson Van Pelt and Chris Lewis and Kyle Hall. Those guys obviously might not be in contention for the championship this season, but there's that overall championship that they can get going right now and potentially be in competition for at the end of the season in November. So that's one thing we should remember. There is a overall champion of the season also. Here's your team standings. Driven Motorsports with HDR. They lead by 39 now over Pro Edge Racing that jumped to 2nd. CX2 3rd. TI and 2511 4th and 5th. Piston Broke jumped up to 6th. Spirited Daytona, Dream Team, Treehouse Autosport, and Gunslinger Legacy Racing, your top 10 in the point standings of the teams. Vincent Isabella leading Rookie of the Year points by 10 now over Joseph McWhorter. Of course, Steve Ritter's right there in 3rd. Justin Thompson, Dylan Rosenberg, your top 5 as we enter the 8th race of the season here. So still some time to be made up there. And on the manufacturer's side, Chevrolet still leading Dodge by 20. Pontiac, Toyota, and Ford still waiting to get some momentum and get that thing going here as we enter into this race. But obviously, in line for some great racing coming up here at Twin Ring Motegi's Oval. This track does feature a road course, by the way, and you'll notice right here the start-finish line of the road course that you have seen in some of the Captain Esports Network broadcasts. You'll hear me talk a little bit about how they're going over the tunnel and stuff. And the tunnel here actually at Twin Ring Motegi is the tunnel for the road course, as it actually goes outside of the oval and then back into the oval where the start-finish line is for this track. And if you go back to 2011, there was an IndyCar race that actually was ran on the road course because they were supposed to run the oval like they had done in previous seasons, but the major earthquake that happened 13 years ago caused damage to this track. And ever since then, to my knowledge, there has not been any kind of an American motorsport event on the oval. Not sure if it's even used the oval today, but I know obviously the road course has been used plenty of times throughout. So, all right, there's a little brief history of Twin Ring Motegi, or Mobility Resort Motegi, if you will, as we will move trackside now for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Great job with the national anthem. There's a good look at the road course right there as it comes out of the track there and out to that way, long straightaway on that backside, and it comes back into the oval part of the track. Here we go. Warm up officially over, and now we can go trackside and see the starting lineup for this All Japan 200. This is the third season now that the All-American Cup Series has ran this 1.54 mile oval, and the two times that this track was run previously, Matthew Weeks won season 4, Finley Fitzsimmons won season 5. And what do you know, Matthew Weeks sitting there P1 on the grid, of course, with the Mike Husby Pole Award, 35.75. Congratulations to him on the pole here tonight. He'll start next to Vincent Isabella. Just checking something really quickly. And that is actually, by the way, by 0.2 of a second, the track record now for this race. And Matthew Weeks actually won the pole last season, too. So 2 straight poles for this 11 car. He's pretty good here, I'd say. 35.75. Mark Whitley, Justin Thompson, row 2. Jordan Owens, Christopher Heller, row 3. Casey Carrington and Stephen Miles, row 4. Kyle Ethier, Mike Husby in row 5. Josh Dillon, Joseph McWhorter back tonight, as he will start there in row number 6. Row 7, a new driver into the series tonight, Victor Pfluger, alongside James Silvers, who makes an appearance again tonight. Sean Dunaway, Steve Ritter in row number 8. Row 9, Matt Telder, Dylan Rosenberg, Brad Delph, and Craig Martin there in row 10. Austin Bloom, Justin Ray, row 11. Row 12, Nick Leo and Chris Lewis. Row 13, Stephen Melnick and Stephen Henning. And then Carson George there in row number 14. Not sure if the pace lights are going to come back on. Usually they run another pace lap. We'll see if that happens. It is 69 degrees, 37% humidity under partly cloudy skies. 130 laps, 200 miles on this 1.54 mile oval. And of course, the league presented by Harpoon Design as we get ready to go racing. Pace car pulls in. And yikes, Isabella with a big spin of the tires, and oh boy. And around goes Heller, right in front into the 9 of Carrington. And apparently they were not expecting wheel spin, and caution comes out immediately. Well, our camera is presented by Track Cams 22. They're online on Facebook and the iRacing forums. at trackcams22.com, and not the best of starts here. I mean, everybody spun the tires, it seemed like there. And Casey Carrington got the worst of that. He and Heller. All right, let's see what happened. Obviously, I mean, Isabella spun the tires, hit the outside wall. And you see Heller trying to get going himself as he spins them. You see Weeks spins them. Everybody trying to get sorted out. And then Whitley gets up into the 8. Miles turns the 8 down into the 9. And that could have been a heck of a lot worse. I mean, there was contact everywhere on the start of that race. Look at it one more time here. I mean, poor Heller and Carrington, those guys got the worst of that deal. Carrington on pit road, along with Isabella, Lewis, and Melnick, either getting damage fixed or... But not the way these guys wanted to start this race. Now, if there's hopefully any kind of positive out of all this, is the fact that this race is very consistent in its history when it comes to on track, as the two other times that this series has been here, season 4 and season 5, as you see the damage on the 8. We had 5 and 6 cautions respectively in both of the events. Now, how good has Matthew Weeks been here at this track? All right, let's look at the history. We're going to bring in Finley Fitzsimmons here because Finley obviously used to be a driver in this series. And obviously there's been 2 starts here. Finley and Weeks both won a pole. Obviously both of them have a win at this track, right? Finley actually has 2 top 5s. Weeks has 1 top 5. However, I look over in the laps led category. Both races, 130 laps, which means you had 260 total laps in the first 2 races here at this track. Weeks and Finley have led roughly 200. I'm just doing the math here real quickly. It's 242 laps out of 260. Obviously, the only other drivers who have led a lap in the history of this track for All-American. Andrew McGonigal led 10 laps. Wyatt Nato led 5. Carrington's led 2. And that's it. And as you see, it looks like with everything that transpired, Justin Thompson has actually taken the lead of this race. So, it's a little wild here. But needless to say, we'll get things rolling here and get back to green. But a tough break for Heller and for Casey Carrington here at the start of this race. Hello to the viewers watching. Appreciate all of you joining us here tonight. Brantley Roden, hello to you. As actually Thompson takes the wave around. So, you know what that is? I think Thompson might have been the only car that didn't get across the line before the caution come out, and he probably got stuck a lap down there, gets the wave around. So it is actually Weeks leading. So Weeks is just adding on to that total of of leads. Laps, I should say, led. Good to see my English is up to par here this evening. It has been I was just telling Casey after or during practice, I'm like, man, it's been a long week work-wise and stuff like that. And today I'm really drained. But we're going to get through this broadcast. We're going to have fun. It's a Friday night of All-American Cup Series racing presented by Harpoon Design. A lot of people getting ready for their 12-hour Sebring race. That I know the one session's gone up already, and then they got one at 2 a.m., one at 5 or 6 a.m., and then another one at noon. I'm sorry, one at 8 a.m. and then one at noon tomorrow. And something tells me it's going to be kind of rainy in Florida. Green flag back out. Everybody a lot more cleaner, getting back and rolling to it as Weeks and Whitley side by side through the sweeping turn 1 and 2. I'm kind of curious with the oval refresh how this track is going to be treated. Normally it is a bottom feeder. The top two single file, pretty much everybody though, single file down to turn 1. First battle. Let's go back here with Brad Delph in the 14 car. Inside Craig Martin to 22. Chris Lewis back there with him. Also the 45. As to go down this back straightaway up to 180 miles an hour as they send it down in here. And one of the biggest differences in speeds that you will see on any track as you go from 185 miles an hour all the way down to 15 to 120 down into turn 3 and 4. Let's get you audio for the cars, shall we? Hello, cars. Check out Fluger here, the 82 car, making his debut here tonight. Outside of Josh Dillon, and takes the 9th position away. Victor already up 4 spots since the start of this race. Carson George, by the way, did not make the start of the race. Something tells me he went to Suzuka by accident. Check out McWhorter, a little bit of blinking there, but works to the outside of Jordan Owens here, trying to get to his right rear, not able to do so yet. Mike Husby right there. McWhorter trying to roll the inside here. Obviously shortest way around. Of course, with that oval refresh, you get up that top side, you're able to get the momentum and carry the speed down the straightaway here. And McWhorter going to be able to send it in there and make the pass. Turn 1 and 2 is going to be more where you probably set up your passing at. You get the momentum through the corner and you carry the speed down the straightaway. And then almost treat it like a road course as you go into 3 and 4. By outbraking your opponent into the corner. And that's how you'll make the pass there going into 3 and 4. So I think that's where you're going to see most of your passes. Let's check back here on your outside pole sitter, Vincent Isabella, who was involved in that first accident there with the spinning of the tires. He's worked his way up to 17th. Justin Thompson right there with him as he took the wave around up to the 18th position. As Isabella slides in there and completes the pass on Lewis, and Thompson going to go there with him. As Josh Gagnon watching to answer his question here. Josh asking about the high side potentially. I don't know how far up we're going to go. Maybe another groove and a half. But I think, yeah, you'll see something, I think, eventually, especially as the tires wear out here. Christopher Heller, unfortunately, rough start for him tonight. He is already a lap down. If he can get another yellow, he'll get back on the lead lap and maybe get that damage fixed. I think he actually had to come to pit road. Not sure he had a penalty or not, but I know he had to get some damage fixed. Casey Carrington, 22nd position for him after the pit stop to get damage fixed. As we ride with Rosenberg. A 9,400 RPM brings it down into turn one. Here in a lot of tight entry, loose exit. You see a bump right there. That's the tunnel we talked about from the road course. Down the back straightaway here, you should be almost 96, 9,800. There's 4, there's 6, there's 97, I would say. All the way down here. At turn 3 and 4. Go back to the throttle. You see the looseness there. Unfortunately, the gear just a little too tall for any kind of shifting. We'll let you see some kind of speed in the course with the draft here. .183 down to 115 miles an hour. So that's 68 miles an hour difference from top speed to bottom. You're literally rolling the throttle here, being very careful. Again, very sweeping, very wide corners. And of course, not much banking at all. That's why I said when you look at the way these tracks are set up, it's you got a little bit of Gateway, you got a flat version of Darlington, you got Kentucky's width of the track. I mean, it's its own little monster here of the Mobility Resort Motegi track. NASCAR ran 1 year here back in the mid to late 90s. They ran 2 races over at Suzuka and then ran the 1 year at the oval track here. Mike Skinner winning the last 2 in Japan. Ironically, outside of a Gatorade Twin 125 race at Daytona, the only wins Mike Skinner had in the Cup Series. So car on the move right now, McCorder, who is up 9 spots to the 3rd position. Of course, a couple of those spots were aided by that caution, but he has been able to make some passes here. He just kind of did something I just thought about. I wonder if you're able to maybe throw the diamond a little bit there in 3 and 4 with the way the corner is set up there, because obviously here's your sweeping 1 and 2, and then with the narrow 3 and 4, you enter that corner low, let the car sweep up, and then bring it off of turn 4. Let's watch what McCorder does here. Sends it into the corner pretty deep there. Let's see if the car slides up at all here. He's off the bottom about a half a groove. But no, you don't really see the egg, or you don't see the diamond. He just pretty much ran about a groove off the bottom, which is interesting to see. So I think you're already starting to see a little bit of an outside line coming into play. Josh Dillon looking underneath Pfluger. That's for 9th. You see Rosenberg there below him. Steve Ritter, that 16 car, getting a little free off of turn 2. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight, 25 strong. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back and joining us here on the Captain Esports Network on a Friday night. course, one of two races you'll see this weekend. Tomorrow I'll throw out a special invite to you because I'm going to be streaming the 40 Racewear team running the 12 Hours of Sebring. Unfortunately, I don't have a time or anything set for you because it's all going to come down to when I get home. As James Silver's sliding up the track there in 3 and 4. I know they're going to run the noon session. So sometime probably in the first 2 to 3 hours, you'll see the stream come up and we'll cover the rest of the race and going to be kind of crew chiefing and helping out the team. I'm not racing. And just going to be sitting back and helping them. And tracking the weather because there's been a lot of practice in the rain. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of rain at that race tomorrow. So come and join us there for that tomorrow. And then also, the announcement was made a couple days ago that on Monday, April the 8th, of course, that is the solar eclipse that is going on in the United States. And I happen to be lucky enough to be in the area where you will see totality of the eclipse. And I'm going to allow you to enjoy the stream of the eclipse live as we watch. So you can come join us for that. I believe it's going to be around 3 o'clock Eastern time. I think is when they're expecting it here, but I'll get you a finalized time for that as we're going to go 3 wide through 3 and 4 here. And you can come watch on the stream the last solar eclipse you'll see for another 20 years. And of course, the first one in about 6. Chris Lewis has taken his 111 car to pit road after some issues with him. Not sure exactly what happened. He is on pit road. Something tells me when I'm looking at over in the highlights here of him entering the pits and then jumping to the pits. Might be daddy duty, potentially. Usually the way that works. Fierce battle right here with James Silver, Steve Ritter, Josh Dillon. This is the 9th, 10th, 11th positions as they start to track down Rosenberg there in the 8th position. Shout out to Dillon, by the way, who is, I think, literally this. Oh, hold on, Dillon. Don't do that while I give you a shout out. He's literally like following me, I think, to every broadcast I do and running in that series. And I appreciate that. That's kind of cool. Not sure how new he is to iRacing or whatnot, but we're probably actually going to, if we get a yellow here, I'm probably going to bring him up and talk to him as he's been running in the TI series, and then Wednesday nights, I believe he just joined GLSR, and now here he is at All-American. So he's joining them all. Nick Order back under attack now for third as Jordan Owens in the JD Designs number 20 inside for third. Just heard somebody shifting, I think. Owens clearing for third, and here comes Miles inside of Husby. Mike, of course, coming off a great finish at Bristol last week. Miles still trying to get that first win here in this series. He's had kind of a rough week on his part, but just continues to fight on. These guys who continue to fight it out. So fuel mileage tells me 35 to 40 laps on a tank of fuel, which means we will probably see a majority of these cars here in the next 10 to 15 laps. Of course, the 15 number is more for those who pitted there under that caution. Look at the crowd up there on the hill in the back straightaway. So Weeks leads by 2.5 seconds over Whitley, who's got about 1.6 over Jordan Owens. And McPorter and Stephen Miles, your top 5. You can just see these cars getting kind of darty there down the back straightaway. As I mentioned, the loose off characteristics of this track. If you've never had a chance to run the IndyCar here, I invite you to do so. It's one of the funnest races you will run, is the IndyCar Twin Ring Motegi. Very challenging, but very fun. And in that car, you can go anywhere in run. It's not just necessarily a bottom-feeding track. You can run from the bottom all the way to the top with that car. We're 30 laps in out of 130 here at Twin Ring Motegi in the All Japan 200. As Matthew Weeks continues to lead and Isabella and Thompson kind of working together in the 11th and 12th, or 12th and 13th positions here. So they're slowly getting through the field, but still plenty of time to go. As here comes Thompson now, actually going to try to pass the 56 for position. So you see Rosenberg, these guys here. This has been the best battle on the track. Watching these 5 cars, you see now Sean Dunaway has joined this battle in the 01 car. As we complete 33 laps, these 5 cars all within about 2 seconds, or I should say 0.2 of a second within each other. But they're unfortunately 13 seconds back of the leader as we ride on board Isabella. All right, it's 35 laps complete as you watch Kyle Ethier move to the 6th position inside of Husby. Steve Ritter there now joining the battle also. So now you're starting to see, ooh, easy guys. Starting to see a lot of the comers and goers now in this race. A lot of people who have maybe saved the tires a little bit here. I'm not sure how the tire wear is here, to be honest. I've not really run many races here outside of the open wheel cars I've mentioned. Wait a minute. Do we have a Finley Fitzsimmons? Are we here in chat, Finley? Hello, sir. Good to hear from you, young man. I hear what you've been up to. Good to hear, and hopefully that's going well for you. As here we go, pit stops. Mark Whitley going to be the first in. Lap 37. Long pit road here. Obviously plenty of room to pit. You see Chris Lewis on pit road. Looks like he's got about 3 stalls there. He's sitting inside. Yes, sir, man. Obviously, Finley, as far as I know, has been going to do some schooling and stuff. Gonna probably take my job or something eventually, who knows, but good to see him here. But obviously Finley won this race the last time we were here. So Whitley pits. Here comes McWhorter. Casey Carrington coming to pit road. My camera's facing the wrong way, I noticed. Looks like the 9 pretty much patched back up. A little bit of right front damage you can still see there as McWhorter takes off. 14.7 for him, 15 flat for Whitley as Carrington gets left side tires as he pulls away. But again, for those who've never seen this setup that I've got here on the left, basically lap time will be the middle part. You see the time, how separated they are on the track. Right side is their pit stop time. As see Miles on pit road, so is the 3 of Thompson, Isabella, Zinn, Ethier, Fluger, Telder, all these guys in. All right, more cars coming in. So this is Jordan Owens, Steve Ritter, Dylan Rosenberg, Dunaway, Brad Delph. So everybody pretty much coming in right here to get tires and fuel. Weeks still out there leading laps. Silver's up to second. Of course, Ray there in third. Question is, how much time does Weeks want to give up? And it looks like the answer is not much, because here comes the 11 to pit road right now. As the 11 gets in the stall, right side tires and fuel, and you're not able to see it, but these guys over here having a conversation about which restaurant they want to go eat at tonight. And that's going to complete the cycle pretty much outside of Stephen Melnick, who is yet to pit in the 34 car. Melnick's got a couple extra laps here. He'll be able to run after the caution a little bit ago. He throws himself into the wall. That's not good. I think he might or might not have missed his braking point there a little. But with the pit stops happening, there's the undercut. Mark Whitley is going to go to the lead here by 2.4 seconds. Unless Weeks gets to him before Melnick comes to pit road. But you see there's a little bit of a gap there. About 1.5 back to Weeks. And then McWhorter's there now in fourth, as they have put a lap on the 26 of Stephen Henning. There goes Whitley inside of Henning and inside of the 34 and move Whitley to the lead. So the points leader and hottest driver here midpoint of the season, who's won 3 of the last 4, to the front here at lap 43. And here comes Weeks there behind him as he tries to make up the ground he lost there on that pit stop. But in trade of losing the ground, he has 4 lap fresher tires than that of the 77. As Melnick comes to pit road, so trying to steal some track position there. So next week, the series off for Easter weekend. And per the schedule that you will see up on the board here in literally 5 seconds. All right, maybe a little less. There you go. So we'll come back on April 5th from the 2008 version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then for the April 12th race, Road Atlanta, that is an actual sponsored race by the captain. Yeah, so we're going to be a part of that race, and the reason for that is actually Road Atlanta was the home track technically of mine for a couple years when I was in Georgia. So we'll be at Road Atlanta. Then we'll go right down the road to Talladega Super Speedway from Road Atlanta, Iowa, Dover, and in Atlanta to finish it off as we get ready for Memorial Day weekend and the traditional break for a couple months before season number 8 kicks off. As the battle for the lead, Matthew Weeks to the inside. Whitley trying to get down on that door, trying to get down that quarter panel to slow him up, and it just was no contest. Pressure tires to the front. Here's Stephen Miles. He's got a battle with Mike Cusby. It's a battle for 5th. These two have been neck and neck pretty much all race. I want to remind you the Scalicast, of course, episode 12 and 13 out this week. Of course, episode 12 recapping the historic race at Bristol. Also the 12 Hours of Sebring in real life. Telder kind of covered that a little bit. And we previewed the Thermal IndyCar All-Star race this weekend. And also recapped our league racing and so on and so forth. And episode 13, which was released last night, has an interview with Sean Peachin on there as we kind of did a preview of the Wednesday night series we cover here on the Captain Esports Network. And you can check out that interview in its entirety now on Spotify, on iHeartMedia, and on Podbean. How about the comebacks here for these drivers? Look at this. Casey Carrington, the 9 car, after being involved in the accident early in this race, he runs in the 10th position now. Vincent Isabella, he was the outside pole sitter, got the wall. He's in 10th now. So these two doing a great job trying to work their way up through the field. Justin Thompson, another driver, up to 9th there in front of them. There he is. So these three on the comeback trail after that incident early in this race. 2 cars behind the wall officially. Matt Telder and Austin Bloom have gone behind the wall. Bloom actually coming off his best run of his All-American career. A top 5, I think it was, at Bristol for Austin. And unfortunately, the guy that caught the worst break out of that accident on lap number 1 is that 8 car of Christopher Heller. By the way, Mrs. Heller, if you're watching tonight, hello from the state next door. Miles crossing over here as these guys battle hard. Good clean racing here. Miles sends her into 3 and going to make the pass. Husby's going to get the run off, though. He gave up the entry of the corner to Miles so he could try to get it on exit, but Miles did a good job getting back to the throttle. Closest I come to your area, Mrs. Heller, is always on Saturdays as I get to deliver down to the towns of Bern and Geneva. Of course, Bern, the furniture capital of the world, by the way. At least that's what the sign says when I get there. A lot of Amish people in that vicinity. Always see those people out there on the highways and stuff in their horse and buggy and carriages. I think it's kind of cool to see. Obviously all the work they do with the furniture and stuff there. A lot of handcrafted stuff and so on and so forth. See how tough it is to pass on a track, and obviously with the flat surface. But you can kind of throw in, like I said, Gateway earlier. You got New Hampshire almost with the way, or Phoenix, the way corners kind of sweep around here. Still haven't really seen the track stretch out too much. Maybe about a half a groove or so. But it's been basically right down on that white line. All right, let's take you through the field and show you where everybody's running here at lap number 54 as Weeks leads. Of course, he's been the dominant guy here so far today. And, of course, last time we were at this track, he had a little bit of a struggle, but he and, as we talked about before the broadcast, Finley, who checked in chat, the two dominant drivers here so far at this track in the 3 races, but Weeks continues to add on to that total laps led here at Motegi. And leads by 3.2 seconds over Mark Whitley. There is Mark, of course, continuing his fantastic follow-up campaign to his championship in season number 6. Runs in P2. Joseph McCorder, obviously not here last week, looking to work on his championship campaign as he was fell a few spots in points, but still close enough he can get up there and battle with him. And all he has to do is continue to be consistent, and he's doing a good job of that right now. 3rd position for him. Jordan Owens having a great run. Of course, Jordan, we remember last season, really picked up the ante, if you will, and started logging some great finishes in season 6. And it's something I caught on to. And he's still looking to get that first win as he runs into 4th position right now. Stephen Miles, another driver, looking for that first win in this series, believe it or not. This man wins everything almost. And yet has not gotten himself a victory in All-American. He's trying, but runs into 5th position right now in the Marion number 1. Mike Cusby, 6th position here for the 19 car after a top 5 at Bristol last week. Is Mike one of those who can kind of get down on himself when he's on the struggle bus, but he's done a good job here the last couple weeks, getting some good finishes, hoping to get another one here this evening. Kyle Ethier, the Rusty Wallace throwback. The TI Racing number 2 in the 7th position right now. Kyle doing a good job of just logging laps and up here in the top 10. Steve Ritter, the Leaf Guard of Vermont, number 16. Steve having a great run here so far in the 8th position. Appreciate what he's done so far in the series this season, sponsoring 2 races. He has another one coming up that you'll see the Leaf Guard of Vermont on. And we get to the comeback trail here. Justin Thompson in the 9th position here. Justin, after starting in 14th, but obviously some issues there before the race, had to take a wave around and is back now on the lead lap and running in 9th right now. Casey Carrington, he and Heller coming together at the start of the race. In the 10th position, you'll see as he comes around the corner here, right side, still a little damage there at the right front where the wheel is. As Isabella turns her sideways, he just lost a spot to the 12 of Josh Dillon. As there is Dillon in the 11th position, the Surge number 12. There's Isabella there, 12th position for him. Vincent was the outside pole sitter and was another one that spun the tires there at the start of the race, hit the outside wall, and had to get damage fixed. He's back to the 12th position now. Dylan Rosenberg, 13th position for the 91. Shout out to his number, by the way. Of course, you don't see it, but he went to work there on Photoshop, and he actually has the Trackhouse 91, not the iRacing 91. You see the little the Trackhouse logo, if you will, going through the 9 and the 1. Pretty cool deal there. James Silver's in the 14th position. There's James, the Virginia driver in the 17 car, running 14th here tonight. And of course, he always runs part-time, shows up whenever he feels like it, pretty much. The kitty cat guy, Sean Dunaway, Catman, whatever you want to call him, in the 01, running 15th right now. Sean is 26 seconds back of Matthew Weeks. Top 15 right now, so having a good run. And then Justin Ray, I think he swapped the black out for the red, I've noticed. Not sure if there's a theory to that, or maybe he's running the Coca-Cola throwback that Dale Jr. ran here with the red car. Maybe that's what that is, I'm not sure, but Ray running in the 16th position right now. Nick Leo, who won himself a race this week at Daytona, he is running 17th right now. Victor Fluger, who made his debut here tonight, was running up near the top 10 a little bit ago, but has fallen back to the 18th position here. So Vic having a little bit of a rough debut, but he's logging laps, and depending on how new he is to iRacing, one thing I always tell the rookies and stuff, the only way you're going to learn how to race and have racecraft on iRacing or in any kind of racing is completing all the laps. That's what he's doing right now in the 18th position as the sun shows up. Brad Delph in the 19th position. Brad's had a little bit of a rough run here. I know a couple times he's not even made it past like lap 5 in a race, but Brad 19th right now. And still on the lead lap. Last car in the lead lap is Craig Martin, the 22 car. As we come up to halfway here, Craig kind of struggling right now. Maybe need a yellow to reset and get some track position there. But right now, P20 for him. First car lap down, Stephen Henning in the 21st position. Using 26. Be the lucky dog, obviously, if a caution would come out. Steve Melnick there in the 34 car. Okay, that doesn't mean you hit the wall, Mr. Henning, but good job. Melnick, 21st position as he just passed Henning, so now he's in the lucky dog position in 21st. And then Christopher Haller back here, 23rd position, as he just out here logging laps tonight, unfortunately, that 2511 car. He was involved in that lap 1 accident, so tough break there. Rest of the cars off the track. Matt Telder, Austin Bloom, Chris Lewis out of the race here. Let's go up here to the battle for 7th as Ethier under attack as Ritter goes by. And move that 16 up to the 6th position. Might notice right behind him, Mike Cusby kind of falling back. He's lost 2 spots here. To the 8th spot. Weeks extending that lead out to 7 seconds almost over Mark Whitley. There he is in the Mountain Dew car, looking to get that second win in 3 races. Of course, Whitley going to victory lane just a couple weeks ago. As McCorder, I noticed, has come to the pit road here to 73 back in. This is slightly early, not too early. But still in the window. As McCorder 4 tires and fuel, Isabella's back on pit road, so I think this might be an undercut move. Try to get some track position here and see what they can do with it. As McCorder pulls away, and here comes Isabella into a stall, 4 tires and fuel. As Chris Lewis checks in, says hello. So hello to you back. Casey Carrington coming to the pit road. Leo on pit road. So rate at about lap 70, so about 35 laps in. 60 laps to go. This will allow you to split the race in half and just run 30-30. Would this be considered over the wall too soon for this car here? This guy's leg has worked his way through the pit wall. Stephen Miles, the Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram #1 on the pit road, along with Ether, his teammate. More tires and fuel for the both of them. Good stops. Wrong button. You'll see the ones who make the pit stops here in this run. You look over here where McCorder, Miles, Ethier, 66, 68, 67. Those are guys that have all pitted in their second cycle. And then the rest of these guys up here have yet to come to pit road, where Mark Whitley now going to come in, along with Mike Husby. Whitley gets in. Should be 4 tires and fuel for the 77, as he will continue to try to knock some of that time down. But Weeks is at that danger point now in this race, where he's out to, almost 8 seconds at that point with the 4-lap pressure tires that he can risk staying out for about 3 or 4 laps now, 5 laps, and still get out there in the lead and just drive away. Thompson and Ritter coming to pit road. There's the 3 car. Of course, Thompson, the Auto Club winner earlier this season, got his first win. Dillon, the 12 car on pit road, and now the leader. Here comes Weeks. Now, for those looking for a reference point here, there's the 77, this white number down here at the bottom on the map. Going into turn 1, he just unlapped himself from the 11. Four tires and fuel, and you look right here, you see the 73 has actually gotten ahead of the 77, so the undercut for McCorder has actually worked here. And here comes Weeks off of pit road now, and this is what I was telling you, the danger of him being so far out now with fresher tires. He's now going to have fresher tires and has got enough of a margin to stay ahead of the 73 here, so he is going to easily inherit the lead once everybody pits again. But the one thing he doesn't want right now is, the yellow hanky, as they say. As Dylan Rosenberg leading here as pit stops. There's Heller coming to pit road. Dunaway coming in. Yeesh, easy guys. Unlapping himself. Dunaway on pit road in the 01. Heller on pit road also in the 8 car. And here comes the 91 to pit road. So great job of these guys communicating tonight, because that is something we have seen at times. Big shout out to the viewers tonight. Appreciate you guys. I think we got up to, what, 25 at one point? So, actually, no, it looks like we peaked over 25. Yeah, 26. It looks like a couple of times there. So, big shout out to you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Be a part of all the broadcasts you see here on the Captain Esports Network each night. As Silver's now leading this race. Of course, James here for the win and for the win only, so don't be surprised to see him go as long as he can here on fuel before he comes to pit road. Justin Ray, Brad Delph on pit road. Once Silvers comes to pit road, that'll hand the lead back to Matthew Weeks. Only the one caution so far at lap 1, otherwise clean and green in a race that has usually averaged about 5 or 6 cautions in the 2 other starts. So obviously having another fantastic race. You go back to, easy. Rosenberg made a nice sweeping pass to the outside, and it looked like Melnick had some issues getting off the corner. Silver's being patient, kept off of him. But you see that has brought Weeks into the picture, and just like that, Linda Ronstadt blew by you. Weeks back to the front. Tucker joining us tonight. Hello, sir. Appreciate you. Do a update on the weather check. As just past the 12 noon hour in Japan. 99-degree track temperature. I was just about to say before a little bit of action happened there with Silvers and Weeks and those guys there. This, of course, this season has had some good racing. Of course, had a couple rough spots here. Of course, Pocono comes to mind with the action that happened at that track. But otherwise, for the most part, seen some fantastic racing here these last few weeks. Bristol, yet had 12 cautions, but we saw some fantastic racing at that. And Bristol's one of those you can, as long as you keep it under 15, I would say, in a 250 lap race, I think you've done something well. And that's what they did last week in their first ever trip, by the way. The Bristol Motor Speedway, and in here tonight coming out to Motegi with only the 1 yellow so far in the first 80 laps. But the bad news is we still got 50 laps to kind of change that. So we hope to stay positive here as Ether almost scrapes up the wall. Husby tries to sweep the inside there. Ether trying to get some momentum on the top side. Swings it kind of wide, but should be able to carry the momentum. We talked earlier about would we get a little bit of a high groove here. At that time, it looks like Husby's going to... Oh, Melnick! I forgot to stop again. Go back here, teammates battling for second. As Whitley goes around McCorder. Joe not going to let Mark go away here. Mark sends her down into turn one. I think obviously Joe cut him a break there and didn't want to run into the back of him, so I had to be kind of careful. So again, next week, no league race here. We'll be back in 2 weeks from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll run the '08 edition of that track. And we'll have it for you on Friday, April 5th at 8:30 Eastern Time, or 8:15 we'll be on the air. Hope everyone has a good Easter week. It's a Good Friday and into the weekend. Steve Ritter still 7th position here in the 16 car, having a great run up 9 positions. He's one of the big movers in the race, along with McCorder, who's up 9 from 12th to 3rd. And you have Nick Leo back here, the biggest mover in the race. He's gained 10 spots from 23rd to 13th. We talked earlier about Leo, who was running around 20th or so. He's gained a lot of spots in that pit stop. That was a good one, Steve. That's funny. I'm not sure how to put that answer to that of a comparison, I guess, of the groundhog and Jesus. Unless you're saying that the groundhog is named Jesus. Is that what we're going at here? You know, it's funny is you could say that because, I mean, we put our clocks ahead 2 weeks ago, and ever since then, some of the country's been colder than it has been the last, month of winter. Last week's going to put a lap on Rosenberg in the 91 car. Or try to. Rosenberg's going to fight him, though. So 90 laps completed has been the Matthew Weeks Show here at the Mobility Resort Motegi track, or Twin Ring Motegi as we know it as, the All Japan 200. Again, race number 8 of the All-American Cup Series presented by Harpoon Design. As these guys continue to log laps. Of course, tonight, Matthew Weeks' 72nd career start for him. Picked up his 5th career pole in the series and sits 3rd in active winners, 3rd in overall winners, I should say, in series history. He's actually 2nd on the active list now, behind Mark Whitley, who, of course, has torched the field the last couple of seasons with his wins. He has 6 total. It's so cool what they've done on the Sim Racer Hub website. For those who have not checked out, it's the old Dan Lisa website, but obviously some people have went in there and gone to work, and there are so many new stats that you can see now when it comes to, I mean, the littlest things to total passes made, quality passes, closing passes, which I believe is in the last 10 laps of the race, incidents per corner. I'm sure that number on a road course for me is like rip. How many times you've had the fastest lap at a race? It's crazy how they break this all down. But the numbers I look at here is the laps led. This is the one that kind of grabs me. So Mark Whitley is the career laps leader here at All-American. He has led 1,734 laps. Now, here's the number that I want to bring to you in this situation. Matthew Weeks entered tonight's race at 905. So more than likely here in the next, I would say 10 to 15 laps, maybe 20 laps here. Obviously, I don't have a way of keeping count here with our technology with SDK. It doesn't keep track of laps led. But obviously, Whitley's led a couple laps and then through pit stops. By the end of this race, Matthew Weeks will likely pass and become the 4th driver to lead 1,000 laps in the All-American Cup Series history. So, obviously, I'll hold off until if he leads the last of these 36 laps in this race to say congrats on that, because my luck, I would say congrats and then something bad happens and you don't lead another lap. That's still a pretty cool stat there. Of course, the league owner, you would think, would have the most miles in series history, and that is exactly the situation. Casey Carrington, over 17,000 miles completed in the series history. Viewers here tonight. Appreciate you guys watching again on the stream. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you joining us. Love chatting with all of you as we watch McWhorter under attack. Jordan Owens to his inside for the 3rd position. What were your thoughts on the Bristol race last week? That's something I should ask you guys. Haven't really had a chance to talk about it. I was listening a little bit of the junior download earlier today, and you know, they had Chase Elliott on there after reviewing the throwback car, and Chase kind of said what I was thinking. A little bit of overkill, so to say, and I don't mean overkill in a negative way, but they went from you know, a car that wasn't falling off much to a car that, you know, destroyed tires after about 40 to 50 laps. And as some called it, one of the best races of all time, one of the best short track races of all time. Of course, the lead changes and so on and so forth. But what I mean by the overkill part was, I feel like there was a little too much of the wear. If they could find a way, and I'm sure teams could do it, to where those tires there would run maybe 100 laps at Bristol and fall off like they did, and not necessarily cord or whatever they did, I think they'd had the perfect tire for that race. And I would hope they bring something similar to that to Martinsville. They do that, oh, it's going to get fun. Dale Young checking in. Hello, thank you for the donation. Everybody's pretty spread out here, as Weeks has now put that lead over 10 seconds. He is lapped up to the 12th position, and Vincent Isabella, last one on the lead lap. Oh, here we go. We're splitting this run in half, as we said. Pit at lap 70. Now we're to pit road at lap 100. Joseph McWhorter coming to pit road right here. So final pit stop starting to take place. Kyle Ether also on pit road here. More tires and fuel. You see Joe leaving. Kyle into the pits. Vincent Isabella on pit road. Dylan Rosenberg. Others on pit road here. Steve Ritter, Casey Carrington to pit road. Lap 101. Whitley and Owens coming to pit road now. Whitley had to lock it down there. Don't make a mistake. You're in a race here where, obviously, unless some things happen, you're kind of in control of where you are. You do not want to make a situation worse, speeding on pit road or having a penalty, where all of a sudden a top 5 finish kind of falls by the wayside. So Whitley just needs to get what he can get here. Sometimes it's one of those you accept the L and move on. But of course, hey, you still got 28 laps to go. Anything can happen here. So Owens on pit road, Stephen Miles on pit road. 4 tires and fuel for these cars. McOrder just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 36 flat. About 3/10 off the pole. Husby now on pit road. And there you see look at the difference here with fresh tires. Isabella going flying by Weeks. Vincent just ran a 35.93 running the fastest lap of the race, which is exactly 1 second faster than Weeks. You know, I see some people in the 37-second bracket. McOrder 35.82 just now. So they're gaining a good 2 to 2 seconds a lap on the leader. So if you take that ratio with Weeks having a 10-second lead, we'll just call it 2. That's 5 laps. That technically Weeks could just stay out, give up that time, and if he pits and does everything right, would come out right in front of the cars that came to pit road of McOrder and Whitley, and then just drive away with the fresher tires. But obviously things are easier said than done, as they say in racing. If I could do stuff like that, then I would have won 1,000 races and not like 15. As Weeks comes to pit road right now. I do got 2 Daytona 500, so that's something to be proud of. Josh Dillon on the pit road. So slowly seeing these pit stops happen now. If I am somebody towards the middle or to the back of the lead lap, I'm running this tank out and going as far as I can go and seeing if you can find a way to flip this race. I mean, what do you have to lose at this moment, right? I mean, Larry McReynolds says it best on the broadcast. You follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. I mean, I've seen a couple races recently in league races get flipped like that. As here we go with the teammates again. McOrder and Whitley. This is probably the moment where Brantley Roden pulls his hair out of his head for a minute. Says, you two behave. McOrder doing a good job of running about a half a groove up, and it's kind of, I don't want to say squeezing Whitley down, but not allowing him to move up the track as much as now as they come up here on silvers. And a Harpoon Designs sandwich. Oh, you too? you got a lack of follicles? You're probably more, are you completely bald, or do you have like I have with like the middle part of your hair is like from the front? Like I've got hair on the side of my head, and then until I get to the back, then it's like the horseshoe. It's because I mean, these two are fighting with each other. I like it. Good battle. Clean and respectful. Yeah, I've gotten to the point now when I'm out there delivering or I do something stupid or whatever, or if I'm not thinking at the moment, instead of it being a blonde moment, it's a bald moment for me. Really got the run there off two that time by. Can he complete the pass, send it into three here? Of course, for McCorder, he's got a lot to race for here. Whitley being the point leader. And Joe missing last week's race, so he's trying to make up that the points, and every point counts in this situation. So he's going to want to hold his teammate off here. Can he do it for 20 laps? Might be a tough ask. But this track has rubbered up now. And that's allowing these cars to use the next groove up. Monkey see, monkey do. Joe goes to the bottom. Whitley tries the top. Just not able to get the run. He might be able to get a run off here. Delft to pit road from the 12th position. Whitley probably cooling the tires off here a little bit. I mean, Whitley has 3-lap newer tires, so we'll have to see it. Not to mention, these two keep up the fun. I see Jordan Owens right back here in that black and white car. Might be looking to pounce on them both here. Really getting our sideways. He might be that right rear might be a little screaming at Whitley right now. You see where Joe's been fairly good at, I guess, lack of a better word of thinking of taking care, it looks like, of the tires here, where Whitley's been drifting almost off the corners, if you will. Here, let's watch the hands of both of them here. Well, I say that, and Courtney's got her all sideways. So what I'm seeing in the handling is I'm seeing a lot of loose on entry, tight in the center, loose off, which is always a tough combo. There's the loose on entry. Of course, part of that might be the brake bias. Luger and Silver's now on pit road. And there's Jordan Owens there behind them. Weeks, by the way, is 10 seconds ahead, so he is comfortably in the lead and just needs these last 14 laps to tick off without drama. We got a couple battles starting to shape up here. You got second, third, and fourth right here now as Owens is going to join this fight. And then about 8 seconds back from these guys, Steve Ritter and Steven Miles are starting to get a battle going here for the 5th position. By the way, you just reminded me, I don't know why an ex-wife joke would put this in my head, but I was reminded there was a stop today I delivered to, and they always have these puns on the board, and one of the better ones I've seen yet was today. And this is a good one for those who like to golf, and I know if you're in North Carolina and you're a racing person, you like to golf. I know Whitley's a scratch golfer from the times we've learned about him and a couple others, but check this out. So, you know why golf? Oh, caution! Never mind, I can't say the joke. Victor Fluger has just turned this race on its head. 12 laps to go. The 82 spins off of 2. And caution out for the second time and wrapping up a 116 lap green flag run. Uh-oh. See what happened to Victor. Over the bump there. Oh, he kind of loses the back end over the bump. Fighting it, fighting it, fighting it, fighting it. Dido's back the other way. And Weeks is over there like, you gotta be kidding me, as he goes by. Pretty sure we'll see all the leaders on pit road. Do we dare see a two-tire stop here? As race off pit road goes to Weeks. Whitley going to be second, McWhorter third, Owens fourth. And Carrington, 2 tires with a 9.5, it looks like. Going to come out fifth. So everybody went ahead and went with the 4 tires. Weeks go to victory lane. Does Whitley have anything for him as he's... Cars are getting their tires warmed up. Trying to get as much heat in them because obviously you're going to get wheel spin here at the restart. Now, I'm starting to throw a dad joke out there, and I guess I have to finish it now that I started it. You know why golfer has 2 pairs of pants? Let's see if we can get this one. I'll wait about a minute, and I'll throw the answer out there. So everybody on 4 tires except for Casey Carrington, who strategized here a 9-second stop. As he'll restart in a 5th position here. He might be in a little bit of trouble here, but you know, obviously after his rough start to the race, going to try to get to the finish here. Interesting answer there, Mr. Alphin. As here we go, back to green, 7 laps to go in Motegi to answer that question, just in case he gets a hole-in-one. So we wonder how much this top side is going to work now. With the rubber, it's been laid down side by side. Whitley and Weeks, McWhorter looking to pounce. Weeks sends it down there into 3 and 4. Whitley should be able to carry the momentum off. Weeks leads at the line. 6 laps to go. Carrington up to 4th as he fights with Owens. Weeks with a good center, 3 and 4. Whitley gets a little loose. You see the smoke. I mean, he had that thing sideways. As with 5 to go, Weeks leads. As Carrington falling back to 5th, now has Miles to fight. So Casey back to the 6th position now. Miles up to 5th. See if Casey can hold off Thompson as we come to 3 to go. McWhorter's moved up to 2nd, past his teammate Whitley. Ethier, Husby, these guys back here. This is 9th and 10th. Sorry, 8th and 9th, I should say. And then Isabella back there also. Two laps to go. That's good fighting going on in the back half there of the top 10, but Matthew Weeks coming off turn 4. We'll see the white flag final lap here from Japan as Weeks looks for win number 2 here in this country. Going to be a night to remember for him as he did officially pass 1,000 laps led in All-American history. He's going to come through 3 and 4. He's the all-time lap leader here in the 3 starts at Japan. And now he's going to come off turn number 4 and see his 2nd win in the country and his 7th series win as Weeks wins the All-Japan 200. Nick Horner's 2nd, Whitley 3rd. Jordan Owens 4th, and Miles P5. Thompson, Ethier, Carrington ends up 8th, so a pretty even balance there with his strategy move. Ritter and Husby are top 10. Seventh series win as mentioned for Weeks. 2nd active on the list. And 2nd win of the season. This man knows how to get it done over here in Japan. Good burnout there as he celebrates the win. As we look at the finishing results. Weeks wins it by 0.3 of a second over McWhorter. Mark Whitley 3rd, Jordan Owens 4th, Stephen Miles finishing in the 5th position. Justin Thompson finishing 6th, Kyle Ethier 7th, Casey Carrington 8th, Steve Ritter 9th, and Mike Husby ends up with a top 10 finish. Kind of fell back there towards the middle part of the race. Good comeback for Isabella finishing 11th. Josh Dillon 12th, Dylan Rosenberg 13th, Justin Ray and James Silvers finishing in the top 15. The rest of our finishers here tonight, Sean Dunaway finishing 16th, Brad Delph 17th, Nick Leo 18th, Craig Martin and Victor Pfluger finishing 20th, with Stephen Melnick 21st, Stephen Henning 22nd, Christopher Heller 23rd, Telder 24th, and Austin Bloom finishing in the 25th position. Lewis in 26th, and Carson George got stuck somewhere. Probably at Suzuka. He might be at the wrong track. Who knows? But Carson, unfortunately, not starting the race and in 27th position. As once again, the driven cars presented by Harpoon Design, or with Harpoon Design, I should say, getting 2 of the top 3 as those guys continue to show their speed. And we will talk to those top 3 guys here now, starting with the 3rd place finisher, Mark Whitley, who obviously had a tough battle, did everything he could to hold off Weeks there, even threw some smoke off the right rear off turn 4, but eventually even losing second to your teammate there, but a hard-fought 3rd place finish for you.
Yeah, I'll take it, especially, like I said, this year was either win or wreck, so I'll take a 3rd place. Honestly, just a solid points night. I've only run a couple of races here, so it's not like not one of my strong suits, so I was able to thankfully lead a couple laps there through pit strategy, so I got a couple bonus point for that. It was just one of those things that I never once, especially when it got going long. I mean, Matthew was just gone. I mean, he was super gone. So it was just battle for second, and I felt like we were doing pretty good. And then I tried something different in the middle of the run, and tires didn't like it, and we got worse. And it just seemed like after that, we just either the track changed or something. It just couldn't never get it back down how I wanted to. And then I was hoping right there on that last restart, if I was trying to keep Matthew pinched down, make him have to get out of the gas, and I was hoping if I could get clear of him, I might be able to hold him off. But I think it just got the tires a little bit too mad on the outside, and after that, it was already I could tell tires were already gone. So I was just watching him and Joe battle and just trying to make sure I held on the third.
Well, obviously, it was a great run for you and your teammates tonight as you guys continue to stretch out that team lead. And I know tonight for you, going to stretch out that point lead a little bit, probably.
Yeah, right now, I mean, big picture is obviously the championship. Hoping we can keep it rolling. Hopefully, we can finish a race without wrecking. That this is, like I said, we were either wrecked or we won the race, which is great when you win the race, but we need a little bit more consistency for the championship. So just some more solid top finishes here. I know last season we went to almost said Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway. I mean, it kind of is. It's the legacy, so it's
right.
It's kind of the same. So we were pretty good there. So hopefully we can continue that, maybe get another win or at least another podium finish and just keep this momentum rolling.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Congratulations on the third place finish, and send some shouts whoever you'd like to.
Yeah, first and foremost, Brantley. Huge shout out to him. Spotting, he does all the paint jobs for me, all my teams. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. He's got a form you can fill out if you want to get a custom made one, or he's got almost 2,000 paint schemes on trading paints. You can check some of his previous workout. He does awesome work. Huge shout out to my teammate Joe. I know last week he was suspended, and and finally he got back in tonight, and I think he had to buy this track, so a really good finish for him. And maybe us as a team don't agree with the suspension, but he came back and he had a solid finish. So that's a good way to rebound. And shout out to my family tuning in these broadcasted races. I really appreciate them, mom, dad, granddad. They tuning in always means a lot when they're watching. And shout out for the league. I mean, we went almost the entire race green, other than that one. The start of the race when it was just seemed like I was telling them in chat, I was like, it felt like we had invisible rain or something, because that start was just ridiculous how no grip we had. And after that, though, we got it clean and green, and had that one caution at the end to make it a little bit interesting. But the guy that should have won the race still won the race, so it worked out in the end.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good Easter.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Mark Whitley finishing in the third position here tonight. So congratulations to him on the top three. As he mentioned, at least it's not wrecked if he didn't win. That's something that Whitley's been pretty good at doing this season. Either he has a wrecked car or one in victory lane here tonight. So nothing to hang his head on with that. All right, second place finisher tonight is Joseph McWhorter, who gets a P2, and obviously a hard-fought battle. A lot of the race with your teammate there is, I know he's the one, unfortunately, you get the battle for trying to gain some points or whatnot for, obviously, the little bit you lost there last week, but still a good P2. I've seen worse. But obviously a P2 tonight, and a good gain of 10 spots there in tonight's race.
Yeah, it was a hectic one. We missed that wreck there at the very beginning. My spotter, Daryl, did a great job getting me through that. So that was really important to put us in the right direction, gain a lot of spots off that. And then it was just pick them off one after the other. And I was having really bad issues with my left hand all night tonight. And at first run, I couldn't figure anything out. I was hurting so bad. I kept missing corners and just it was really bad. And I ended up taking my gloves off. I don't think that was the problem. I think I hurt my hand at work, but it helped it a little bit, but I still having cramps in my hand. So I was having to take my hand off all the way down the straightaways. And it was just such a really big disadvantage tonight. But, I ended up figuring it out. I ended up doing a different strategy to try and jump in front of Mark to try and gain some points. I knew I could play defense really good, so it ended up working out in the end. We got around him there on that final restart, and I don't know if we made up any points on him because I think he led a lap and I didn't. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I gained 4 points on him tonight, so that's a big help. You know, every little bit counts right now, so we just got to keep executing. Really, I'm gonna enjoy next week when we have off, and you know, we're going into Charlotte, which is a really good track for me. So hopefully we can do the same thing and knock out some of them points.
Yeah, sounds like also rest that hand up a little bit, which is definitely sorry to hear about that. But needless to say, yeah, you gain a little bit of points here, and you actually got him in the bonus point category too, 2-1 tonight it looks like. But needless to say, coming into a track, and Mark made comment. Did you just buy this track?
Yeah, I just bought
Yeah.
this track right before the practice up, and I never ran here before.
I bet you learned a lot pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, I I thought I was gonna be okay in practice, and I figured it out pretty quick, and I was like second fastest. I was only just a couple hundredths off of Weeks, and um, I I was just so distracted by my hand. I kept underdriving one and then overdriving three. I had my track all backwards in my head, and then finally after that second run, I kind of got my head out of my butt and started to chase Mark down. Got him within about 3 seconds after he got away to about five, and that's whenever I kind of made the solo decision to try something else on the strategy. And um, my my spotter had to use the restroom. He disappeared. He's like, "You got everything?" I said, "Yeah."
Come on.
He's like, "You pit." He's like, "You pitted at 70?" I said, "Yeah, that's when we're gonna pit." And then 65 or 66, I come pulling down pit road. He comes back. And he goes, "Oh, you already pitted." So yeah, it was kind of one of them things where I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, this is like perfect where I could split it and do that and see if I can't jump the guys and see how big of a jump I could get. And it worked out really well. I mean, Mark got back around me there, but at the very end of that run, when we got to lap 100, but that second jump on him on the pit, that second jump that I did on him on pit road by that one lap, that was enough to get me in front of him. And then we were on equal tires again and up close and personal to where I could actually hold him off. So that was the really big difference tonight.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout outs.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Red Camel Racing. They were an amazing partner of mine. They supply all my real life gear. They have both workwear and racewear. So check them out at redcamelracing.com. Harpoondesign.com, awesome partner. Make beautiful schemes that you see on me, Mark, John when he's here. He's got right around 2,000 schemes. So go check them out at harpoondesign.com or on Trading Paints. ReaperSpeedLabs.com. Go check them out. Awesome setups, awesome people over there. Big shout out to all them. Driven Motorsports. John can't be here tonight. He's busy with real life racing and crew chiefing micros. So, yeah, he's got himself busy. The admins having to put up with everybody every week. All the drivers tonight put on a hell of a race. I mean, the start was a little crazy, but that was a really good race. It was nice to get a green flag run in and really put on a show for. I mean, it was a little strung out. It would have been. I wish we could have had like another Texas, but that was a really good race nonetheless.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and P2 finish, and keep fighting at it. See you in 2 weeks, and happy Easter.
Thank you, brother. Have a good Easter.
You too. As Joseph McCorder finishing in the second position here tonight, as battling a little bit of a hand issue, it sounds like there. So hopefully he'll feel better and get back to it. But the man of the hour, Mr. Japan here, second win, and obviously at the time I was looking at the numbers going into tonight, you and Fitzgerald had led all but like 11 laps into 2 races, and tonight you lead all but 8 laps, and we'll add a little feel-good moment here for you. You become the 4th driver in league history to lead over 1,000 laps.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's cool. In my other leagues, I don't lead a lot of laps. I just show up at the end, so to lead that much is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you put a whooping on the field here tonight. Congratulations on that. That obviously could show how well the car was.
Oh, the car was so much fun to drive, and I love this track. This is like my second favorite track behind Darlington. So when we come here, it's like, oh yes, dude, I have a shot to win no matter what I drive, no matter what time we race. That's like I have a shot here.
So does this mean you're a fan of eggs?
A fan of eggs? I mean, I'm not super big on them, but I do like some eggs.
I just asked because, egg shape here, egg shape Darlington. So,
Yep.
but needless to say, man, talk about, obviously, it's the first time Twin Ring Motegi or Mobility Resort Motegi with the oval refresh. I thought that might play a role there at the end as you had that restart with Whitley. Obviously, he was trying to pinch you down, but you were able to send it in there in the 3 to clear him.
Yeah, and that don't bug me here that much because my line is literally ripping that white line, putting that left front right on it and going. So I knew he would pinch me, and I was just comfortable down there. I knew I got loose on the exit of 2 on the restart, and I got worried I was going to lose too much time. But I knew as long as I stayed right next to him going in 3, I was going to have him.
Well, obviously, it's a fantastic job by you getting your second win here at the track, second win of the season, and obviously adding on to that second active heist total. So a lot of 2s in there, but you are number 1 here this evening here at the Twin Ring Motegi track. So congratulations on that. Send some shout-outs.
Thank you, man. Shout out you. Shout out to you. I tell you every single week, and Casey with the league. It's an awesome league. Great race tonight. Such good racing green flag runs. It's my favorite thing to do. Everyone that watched, I'm sorry I kind of made it boring, but this is like my track. JD Designs on this scheme. Shout out to him, and JV Design is going to be making a new scheme like I talked about last week. So that'll be coming, I think, once he gets back from vacation. And everyone at Pro Edge, man, we showed up. We showed up tonight. We all had good speed, and I know Vince messed up at the start, but if that didn't happen, I think we probably would all finish top 5. We were all really good. And other than that, yeah, I don't know.
I'm hearing rumors already in my ears that Carrington is making you run the road course next time we're here while everybody else runs the oval.
Oh God, please no! I'll wreck it. I'm so bad at road courses. That's a definite DNF right there.
Nice. Great job, man. Congratulations, bud.
All right, man. Thank you. You have
too.
a good one.
You too, buddy. Happy Easter. Matthew Weeks finishing in victory lane for the second time in 3 races here at the track. And a big congratulations to him on that. So, yeah, what a great race it was. We're going to grab the point standings here really quickly and get ready to go to Charlotte in 2 weeks. Again, next week, Easter weekend, we're going to take that week off and come back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Legacy Charlotte Motor Speedway, and go racing there in 2 weeks as we start the month of April. If you will, just stand by here. But I can tell you this, Matthew Weeks has moved up to second in points. Casey Carrington up to third. As, let's get you the top 20. Vincent Isabella has fallen 2 spots to fourth in points. Stephen Miles holds on to the 5th position in All-Americans. Give me a second here as I have to do the whole saving and cutting and all these different things to get it to work. The old snipping, what is it? Snipping something app. I forget what it's called. But anyhow, here we go. Point standings on your screen as, hang on, they didn't update right here. Let me do it again. Thought I had them right. There we go. There's your updated points. So Weeks up to second. Carrington third. Isabella Miles stays 5th. McCorder gains a couple points there and moves up to, or stays in 6th. Heller 7th. Husby, Leo Thompson, your top 10 in the points standing. So we're going to continue to see a tight battle here. But as we go into, as I mentioned, Easter weekend next week, we'll see what transpires. But definitely appreciate all the viewers here tonight, as we saw a great show. Only 2 cautions here. And, yeah, some good green flag racing, some pit stop strategy coming into play. And then that late caution, of course, tried to throw a little rut in the end of the race, but it did not happen. And great job to everybody on a fantastic race here. Next time we'll stream again tomorrow will be the 12 Hours of Sebring we'll have here on YouTube, as we're going to be riding on board the 40 Racewear car once I get home from work and so on and so forth. The next league broadcast Sunday night, and we'll be there for that as, yeah, get ready for another fun weekend here, the first weekend of spring in 2024. So, a reminder, Scalacast is out. You can check out episode 12 and 13 on Spotify, iHeartMedia, and Podbean. You can go get it downloaded there. And then also a reminder, coming up on April 8th, we will stream the solar eclipse here on the YouTube channel. So I want to get that out there for those who are science people. You can share that with your family and stuff. And for those who might not be able to see the eclipse in person or whatever, I can do whatever I can to help you enjoy it. So hopefully you'll come enjoy us for that. But right now, we're going to head out and enjoy the rest of your Friday night. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.